Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to Game of Fortune. It's time for us to finally get into Ultimate Gambling Survivor and see what that's all about. Well, I mean, we kind of know, but there's going to be some tricks involved with what games we're going to play and how Teresa can fuck us over, which I'm sure she's going to really enjoy. Anyway, there were no more questions, and with glee, Belle clapped her hands, and a large timer slowly descended from the ceiling. It displayed the amount of time that we'd have to get the credits that we needed to win. 60 minutes. Okay, so there's the timer. Next is this. Belle pulled out 4 blue bracelets. First collars, and now you're going to have us wear bracelets? Well, it's just a neat little thing to put on your wrist. The collar you gave us in the last game ended up killing people. Are these bracelets going to do the same? Of course, but only if you run out of credits. Well, for you, in Teresa's case, it'll kill you if you 3 manage to win. So either way, these bracelets are going to kill someone. And I take it we don't have a choice in the matter. You always have a choice, Alphonse. It's a choice between choosing to die because you don't listen to me or choosing to play along and maybe survive this ordeal. Right. We all took the bracelets and attached them to our wrist. I wasn't sure exactly how they'd kill us, but whatever it was, it wouldn't be good. And finally, Belle reached behind her and pulled out what looked to be a bunch of blue poker chips. Where the heck are you hiding all these things? Magic, Devon. Magic. But beside that, there are your credits, totaling out to 111 credits for each of you. Belle put the small pile of chips in each of our hands. So this is it, 111 credits. This meager amount that we had to gamble with our lives with. I sighed and tucked the credits into my pocket. Alright, that's everything. Now let's get this game rolling. Belle stepped back and walked off somewhere out of sight. At the same time, Teresa walked behind the table and sat down, fiendishly staring at the three of us. So who wants to play with me first? Just a moment, we'd like to discuss our strategy beforehand. We do? Yes, we do. Don't take too long. I do get awfully impatient. Everett motioned for us to follow him a bit away from the table. Alphonse and I followed closely behind him. So what'd you call us for? Simple. I want to confirm our playing strategy. I tried to hide my discomfort, but the idea of playing still made me sick. Teresa's not a simple opponent. She's a gambling fanatic. She's experienced multiple kinds of games and is used to putting her own life on the line in these kinds of gambles. And to add that to the fact that I don't doubt for a moment that she'll try and beat us by any means necessary. That includes cheating if it comes down to it. A gambling pro that relies on cheating? Sounds to me like she just sucks. It's a failsafe. Something she only does if she feels she's in an extremely disadvantageous situation. Well, that and Everett trailed off before focusing his attention again. Point being is we need to play games that we're confident we can win, or that we can win fast. With only an hour to earn 667 credits, we'll have to be efficient. I say that we block up our time into thirds, so each of us will play against Teresa for no more than 20 minutes. Wait. Does it really have to be that way? I don't want to play against Teresa. Devon, I know the idea is scary, but no, you can't just tell me that Teresa is a gambling champ that knows her way around tons of games and then say I have to spend a whole 20 minutes playing against her. I wouldn't even last 10 minutes or even 5 minutes. She'd clear me out before I knew what was happening. And besides, you seem to know more about her than any of us. Wouldn't it be better if you play against her for a full hour than for us to play against her at all? She makes a fair point. If you know she's that great, if you know that she's great, you're probably our best bet against beating her, don't you think? It's not that simple. Teresa is a gambling monster and a fast learner. That's how she survived for so long. A gambling monster? I won't bore you with the details, but Teresa makes her living by playing in underground high-stakes gambling competitions. She masquerades as this near insane sadistic woman interested in having fun, but she's more than that. She's a survivor, someone who finds a way to win. Ways to win seemingly impossible games, or at least minimize the damage from losses. The minute that I play with her, she's going to analyze every movement, every action, study my face, my feelings, and come up with a plan to win. In short bursts of play, there are openings and opportunities for us to win against her, before she can come up with a perfect strategy. But if I were to play against her for a full hour, I have no doubt that she'd play me like a puppet on a string and read my moves as if it were a children's book. She has an uncanny ability to read and watch for people's weaknesses. That's why it's best if we play her for no more than 20 minutes each. Even if we just split the game between Alphonse and I, that's an extra 10 minutes she gets to study us. Whilst that cuts us from an extra amount of credits we can use to play games. If only Everett and I play, then we're really only starting off with 222 credits rather than 333. Granted, we might be able to win, and thus have more credits to play around with, but still, I get it. I basically don't have a choice. I just wanted to bring this up to prepare you was all, Devon. Think of what game you might want to play. One that you think you can win. If you do that, then you'll stand a chance against Teresa at least for 20 minutes. Okay, I'll try. Good. I already have a game in mind. Alphonse, what about you? Yeah, I got an idea as well. Well, since we both have an idea, do you want to start? I want to keep an eye on Teresa and see if she'll try anything. That's fine with me. Alright, well, let's get to playing then. And Devon, just try to prepare yourself. Hopefully we won't need to ask for your assistance, but there's a good chance that we will. Yeah, I know. There was no use in it. I just have to hope that I wouldn't need to get involved in all this. And so, I walked back over to the table with Teresa smiling sweetly at each of us. Oh, you're back. I was starting to worry you were gossiping about me back there. And just in time, too. Belle walked back toward the table, was also carting some kind of trolley that had a bunch of boxes and games laying on top of it, as well as some weird machine on the bottom shelf. The heck is all that? These are the materials and such that I figured you might need for the games. A few things that Teresa also picked out too, that's all. She moved the trolley to the side of the table and stepped right next to it. I'll be standing here primarily to just provide materials for whatever game you're playing, as well as act as a referee in case you get into some heated argument over the rules. I promise to be impartial and fair in all judgments. There was a sense of unease in whether that was true or not, but we didn't have much of a choice, and thus, I'll be playing first. Alphonse stepped up to the table and took a seat in front of Teresa. Alphonse, the guy that wants to kick my ass so badly. Well, here's your chance. We've got a variety of games we can play. We got blackjack, Uno, baccarat, chess, I've even got exploding kittens. Teresa was holding up packages for the games with childlike glee. If we weren't playing for our lives here, it would be almost cute. Alphonse just growled, which seemingly shocked Teresa, as she whimpered for a moment and put the games back onto the trolley. Sorry, I didn't mean to pull up games you didn't like. It was just a joke. I knew you didn't really want to play those kinds of games. Someone gruff like you? I bet you like poker, right? What's with that look? I mean, it was just a guess. Unless... I got it. Do you really like poker that much? Alphonse nodded his head as he pulled out credits and put them on the table. Yes. Texas Hold'em style. Good, I'm super familiar with that style, but let's establish the base rules first. Since it's just the two of us playing, we should be putting in the same blind. We'll keep it small at first, say 5 credits, then we'll have 5 credits every other hand. That seems to be a bit quick, don't you think? True, but you only got an hour. I don't want to waste any of your time playing for middling amounts. I mean, I could, but that's no fun. And I'm sure you don't want to lose precious time for betting 5 credits at a time, do you? Unless you have a different style for how you want to deal with blinds. That's fine, no need to make things quick anyway. Great, I knew you'd agree to it. Just a few more things we need to clear up though. Such as? Oh, for starters, your starting amount. My starting amount? You usually don't play poker against the house at a casino. You play against other players, and each player has their own limited bank of money they're willing to play with. The thing is, you're the house, that basically means you have unlimited funds. The difference of money I have compared to you is so astronomical it's unfair. It does seem to be a problem. How about this? Whatever you decide to play with, I'll match you. So if you want to play poker and use 100 credits, then I'll limit myself to 100 credits. That's all well and good, but then that means the most I can make is 111 credits off you if I decide to buy in with everything I got. That's also true. Still, I think we can make a compromise somewhere. Here's the plan. Whenever you want, you can force me to match you. Force you to match me? Like, let's say you've been doing good and you have 200 credits. And let's assume I only have 50 credits. All you have to say is match me and I'll add credits to my stack until I have 200. That seems very strange. You basically allow me to dictate how much betting power you have. Putting you on the same amount as me doesn't seem to be in my best interest. The alternative would be that I have unlimited credits each hand, which seems much worse than I'm offering. Come on, I'm being generous here. Well, I guess it's the fairest option we have, isn't it? Exactly. It's fair for both of us. I'll say though that in the event that I can't match the blind, I'll automatically match you. That way we can keep playing even if I have a streak of bad luck. What am I supposed to do if I can't match the blind? Oh, Alphonse, have some confidence in yourself. Surely it won't go that bad. But in the case you do happen to be unable to play due to a lack of credits, I guess we'll have to play a different game since you can't pay up, right? I see. Alphonse closed his eyes for a moment before nodding. Those all seem like fair rules to me. I'm game. Great. I'm glad we could come to an understanding. Belle, if you'd shuffle out the cards, please. Teresa handed Belle a pack of cards. Hold it. Oh, what is it now? I want to see the cards. Don't tell me you suspect me of tampering the cards in the first game. Never hurts to be careful. Fine, check him out if you want. As Alphonse opened the deck of cards, I took time to look at Everett, who seemed just as focused as Alphonse was. Why'd they argue so much about the betting amounts? Well, in poker you gain a lot of power, not just in what cards you have, but how much you're able to bet. It lets you make convincing bluffs. It gives you a padding in case of a bad hand, and essentially you can bully your opponents if the gap between the money you have is enormous. Think of it like this, Devon. Imagine you have a single dollar to your name and you're playing a game against a billionaire. The difference in power is incredible. You can only bet at most a dollar. Chump change to someone with fat stacks like that. They can force you to go all in every hand, regardless of how good their hand is. And even if you manage to squeeze in a couple of wins here or there, odds are eventually you'll lose it all to the pressure, or be forced to fold multiple times and play tight. Thus, Alphonse has to find a way of equalizing his betting strength with Teresa, while also keeping his potential to earn credits high, or at least as high as they can be with this setup. I see. What I'm more interested in is the pace at which the blind sizes will increase. It starts off at 5, but every other hand it'll increase by 5. Playing more hands means that naturally the pot size will get bigger and bigger. Alphonse will have to keep pace to stay in the game, and that worries me. If he falls behind in credits too quickly, then he's not going to be able to even place a bet for the blind. Not to mention the various kinds of bets that Teresa herself will make. Ultimately, with these rules, it's a race. A race, huh? I suppose it's less of a race and more of a time trial. Alphonse only has so many hands he can play before the blind gets unwieldy, and he needs to win big in order to stay competitive. In that sense, he's in a rush to succeed and make every hand count, even if it's a garbage hand. If that's the case, why did Alphonse agree to it? Well, my only guess is that the pressure pushes both ways. In the event that Alphonse can gain a lead, Teresa will have to continue betting more and more money just through the blind. We'll have to see if the risk is worth it in the end. Our conversation stopped as Alphonse handed back the deck of cards to Belle and looked at Teresa. Alright, everything looks good to me. Great, now we can finally play. God, I was getting so bored. Don't worry, I'll be an entertaining opponent for sure. I'll buy him with 111 credits. And I'll match you. Belle, if you please. Belle nodded and handed Teresa the same number of poker chips that Alphonse had. I had to assume that they were Teresa's credits. Alright, that should be everything. Let's play. The game started off with Teresa and Alphonse both putting up 5 credits to the pot, and then Belle dealt 2 cards out to them. It seemed that she'd be acting as the dealer. Better her than Teresa, I suppose. Oh, you know, we never got to decide who ended up betting first. Would you like to, or should I? I'll start, I suppose. Great, then we can switch every turn. Easy to remember. Alphonse tossed in an extra 5 credits. Your move? Teresa mumbled to herself before shaking her head. No, I'm not feeling it. I'll fold here. Fine by me. Well, that was a good start, wasn't it? It was a small amount, but all the same, it was progress. The next hand, both Teresa and Alphonse checked. When Belle dealt the flop, Teresa checked again. Alphonse bet 10 credits and Teresa folded again. No luck so far. Well, that'll change, I'm sure. The blind should go up now to 10. Yeah. Surely things are going to get better from here on out, right? She said that, but the next few rounds went pretty oddly. Teresa would always check, never betting anything, and whenever Alphonse so much as bet a single credit, she would fold. Just practically giving away credits to him. Not that I was complaining, but it just felt off. There was no way Teresa was playing badly and bleeding off credits without a reason, right? Just Everett, what do you think Teresa's doing? I think she's trying to set up Alphonse for the next phase of the game. The next phase? She's almost out of credits. That's exactly it. She's basically given all of her credits to Alphonse, and if that happens, well, she'll automatically match with whatever Alphonse has. If I had to guess, at the rate that they're going, Alphonse will have 211 credits to Teresa's 11 when the blinds go up to 25. That means they'll both have 211 credits to play with. Like clockwork, Everett's prediction was right on the money. Teresa kept folding and the blind kept climbing until Alphonse had won 100 credits from Teresa, leaving only 11 left. You done bleeding chips yet? Yeah, let's get serious now, things are more interesting. Teresa held out a hand to Belle. 200 credits, Belle. Belle obliged and gave Teresa more credits to play with. But I could feel it, a shift in Teresa's attitude as she stacked the chips on her side. So it should be your turn now, right? Blind's 25 credits. Don't have to tell me twice. Both Alphonse and Teresa tossed in 25 credits, a pot that was worth 50 already. Why'd you waste my time if you're just going to get serious now? What makes you think I wasn't serious before? Oh, so you were just handing me credits for free? That's a new poker strategy I haven't seen before. Come on, surely you know it wasn't worth fighting for little bits of credits, right? Think about it, Alphonse. You get 211 credits right now. If you win a few hands, you might be able to win this whole game. And we have plenty of time to get serious now. It's only been 5 minutes after all. Alphonse just glared at Teresa before taking a look at the cards that he was dealt. Alphonse tossed in 25 credits. Oh, someone's getting bold. Well, who am I to ignore such boldness? Count me in. Teresa called and tossed in her own 25 credits. Now the pot had swelled to 100 credits before the flop was even dealt. Things felt more tense than before. Belle dealt the flop, showing the ace of diamonds, 4 of spades, and 8 of clubs. Alphonse was deep in thought for a few seconds and tapped his finger against his chips. Alphonse, come on, buddy. You know you gotta talk to me. You gotta talk to me at least. This ain't how poker's meant to be played, in hushed silence and mean grimacing glares. You're supposed to talk shit or make stories up. Otherwise, things get boring and dry real fast. You must be real fun at parties. Well, if you won't talk, I'll chat with the others at least. Teresa turned to Everett and smiled. So do you... Just as she spoke, Alphonse slammed down 25 more credits onto the table. The sudden action made Teresa flinch in surprise. Keep your focus on me. You're really no fun, you know. Teresa checked her own cards again and frowned slightly before calling Alphonse. Now the pot was up to 150. Belle dealt the next card, which was the 2 of clubs. I looked to see if the card had any meaning between Alphonse and Teresa, but Alphonse looked as stone-faced as ever, and Teresa, the look of confusion on her face was so overblown it couldn't possibly be real. She seemed to flip-flop between serious and playful all the time. What was the truth and what wasn't? I'll check. Oh, where's the bravado from before? You've been betting big amounts and now you're getting scared because of a 2? Feel free to bet then, if you want to raise the stakes. Well, there's enough money in the pot. No need to make things more intense. She's backing off. She seemed content egging and taunting Alphonse before, but when push comes to shove, she doesn't want to bet herself. I don't get it. All this reading into people's too hard. But with both of them checking, Belle dealt out the last card. Queen of Hearts. I looked at Teresa and Alphonse to see if the card meant anything to them. As usual, Alphonse seemed impossible to read, but Teresa... She seemed to be hiding a large smile on her face. Well, well, well. There's Lady Luck shining down on me. I knew it was just a matter of time. Is that so? Alphonse checked and looked to Teresa, who was counting up chips on her hands. Let's add another 25 credits. A 200 credit pot. I felt nervous just thinking about all the credits. How that could put us in a great position. But just as scary was losing all that progress. You really want to do that, huh? You got a lot to lose if you fuck this up. You trying to scare me, Alphonse? It's cute. But yes, I think I will do this. I mean, it's 100 credits. If you win this, you'll have 311 credits. You'll have almost done your honest third of the work. So go ahead. Play and earn your keep. Alright, I'll call you. Alphonse put in another set of chips and I could feel my heart racing. This is the first time they actually got to the showdown. How the hell was this supposed to go? Alphonse flipped his cards over. He had the ace of spades, 4 of hearts. With the ace of diamonds and 4 of spades in the community cards, I gave him a 2 pair. Really? A 2 pair? You bet 100 credits on a 2 pair? Of a 4 and an ace? Well, can you beat it? Because something tells me you can't. But Alphonse, I could have pocket aces. Or an ace and a queen, or a... Just flip over your damn cards already. No tact. You don't want to let the thrill of the game advance. Fine, I'll show you. Teresa flipped her cards over and immediately deflated in her seat. The 7 of clubs and the 3 of clubs. All that bluster and for what? You got nothing. Gambling monster my ass. So what? It's just one hand. Anyone can get lucky to start. Maybe you would have fared better if you weren't so loose and cocky. Teresa looked as though she were on the verge of a tantrum, but Alphonse was just happy to relish in her frustration. Alphonse quickly collected his winnings and smiled over at Teresa before tossing another 25 chips on the table. Let's do it again. Maybe Lady Luck will be on your side. I doubt it though. Alphonse managed to win. Now he had 311 credits to Teresa's 111. Really all that mattered was he was up to 200 credits, but still. Yes? I don't get it. Was that just a bad hand? A terrible bluff? Horrific luck? Why did Teresa go through the trouble of giving Alphonse all those early credits, only to lose even more when she said she was getting serious? Am I just not getting something here? Well, there's always an element of luck in poker, but that's more of a short-term statistic. Teresa had a number of outs, actually. She was close to a flush with clubs, and could have gotten a straight if she'd received a 5 of any suit. I put her chance of victory at around 23%. Of course, there's no way she could have known that. So I think she was just making a bet in the hopes of getting a flush or a 5. Possibly. But I think it goes deeper than that. This is by no means a guarantee, but I believe that she's giving Alphonse exactly what he wants. Exactly what he wants? The taste for revenge, or justice maybe. It was clear earlier he was angry at how Teresa treated Laura and Lilith in the last game. Beating her in this game might give him a sense of satisfaction, and I suspect that Teresa is feeding him that kind of satisfaction. So you think she threw those earlier hands on purpose, and then threw this one as well? No, quite the opposite. I think she threw away those earlier hands as a mean of amping Alphonse up. Obviously there's no fun in winning hands that are given to you. It's like pity. Like someone giving a pitiful dog a bone. Sure, it's something, but obviously you're looking down on them. And I suspect that pitying Alphonse made him angry, or at least made the idea of getting revenge even sweeter. And now she's given him a taste of that vengeance. I fear she's going to reel him into chasing that feeling again. You sure? Alphonse seemed mostly calm and collected. Well, like I said, it might just be my interpretation. And even if that's the truth, there's no guarantee that Alphonse will fall for it. Or that even Alphonse, if Alphonse does, that it will end badly for him. Seems like a risky move, really. It is, but Teresa lives for a risk if nothing else. Let's see what happens in the next hand. Come on, Teresa, don't tell me you've gone soft now just because of one serious loss. Well, if you want to hand me more credits, that's fine too. You really don't know how to ease up, do you? Fine. What's one more game? Teresa let out a defeated sigh and tossed in chips to match Alphonse. Not that she had much of a choice. Belle handed each of them 2 cards, and once again the game was on. Without skipping a beat, Alphonse tossed in 50 credits to the pot. Did you even look at your cards? Of course I did. Doesn't take long to see I've got a winning hand. But 50 credits? Oh, would you rather I put in 75? Alphonse dangled more chips over the pot, which made Teresa squirm in her seat. No, that's enough. She cautiously looked at her cards again before grimacing at the table. Fine. It's not like I can fold at this point. Oh, she's going to totally kick his ass now. This is all bullshit. Teresa called and matched Alphonse 50 credits. Once again, the pot had risen to a high amount before the flop was evened out. 150 credits on the line. If Alphonse won this game, he'd be up to 386 credits. Altogether, that means we'd have 608 credits, almost double what we started with. I could only hope that Alphonse really had a good hand. With their initial bets on the table, Belle dealt out the flop. The Jack of Spades, the 5 of Clubs, and the 6 of Diamonds. I looked between Alphonse and Teresa again. Teresa looked distraught as ever, and Alphonse still had this aura of confidence. That's going to be his undoing. He mulled over his chips again before grabbing a few in his hand. Wait, Alphonse! Alphonse hovered his hand over the table and looked up at Teresa. What? I've only got 36 credits left. If you keep betting, I'm going to have to go all in eventually. Next hand I need to have 30 credits since the blind increases in size. If you make me lose a ton of money, then I'm forced to match you. Wouldn't it be smarter to just leave me with 30 credits rather than push any further? Alphonse paused for a moment and pulled his hand back. I knew you were a man of reason. You're right, I've been miscounting. No need to put in anything more than I need to. So I'll just put in this last 36. What? Alphonse tossed out a few more credits and Teresa looked down at the table, devastated. Motherfucker. Teresa hissed as she tossed in her last credits into the pile. You couldn't just leave well enough alone, could you? You could have folded at any point in time. Alphonse, I can't just give you free credits. You literally gave me 100 free credits at the start. That's, well, don't get upset simply because your stupid gambit didn't pay off. So flip over your cards and show me what you got. Teresa looked to be on the verge of tears, but obliged and flipped her cards over. After all, there wasn't a point in hiding their hands since Teresa couldn't bet anymore. And it was revealed she had the Jack of Hearts and the 7 of Hearts. That meant right now Teresa had a pair of Jacks, since there was another Jack in the community cards. Not exactly the strongest hand, but it was something, wasn't it? As for Alphonse, he had the 10 of Diamonds, the 10 of Spades. Pocket 10s, so a pair of 10s. That's just below what Teresa has. Oh. Teresa quickly wiped her face and an elated smile replaced her dour, depressed look that was once there. Hey, I'm winning now. Alphonse, don't tell me you made such a grand bet on pocket 10s. I thought you had a 3 of a kind or even 2 pair, but a pair of 10s, really? Alphonse grimaced and he couldn't help but glare at the cards on the table. That's not good, is it? Not in the slightest. With those hands, I calculate that Alphonse only has a little under 9% chance of winning. All those credits. And Teresa didn't even have that great of a hand. It was just a Jack and a 7. How the hell did it end up like this? Alphonse's hand was strong too. I don't think he made a mistake with the aggressive bets at the start. Perhaps it was the flop where things went wrong. I guess he didn't have any 10s then. True, but the real problem was the Jack. Normally you'd probably be cautious of the idea of someone having a single Jack, because that would be enough to beat your pocket 10s. Maybe just check to see how your opponent reacts, but I think Alphonse believes he had to continue betting for one of 2 reasons. The first being that he bet so much at the start it would look odd to show weakness if he didn't continue playing aggressively. And the second is he wanted to continue putting pressure on Teresa, if only to keep her acting like a weakling. It's possible it was a mix of both. Either way, it's not looking good. Belle dealt the next card on the table. The Queen of Spades. Yes, yes. Alphonse was trying to keep a calm face, but things were looking worse and worse. Unless the next card was a 10, he'd lose all the credits he bet. I bet you're regretting making all those valiant bets now, aren't you? Go on, Belle. Slam down that last card. Come on, be a 10. We need a 10. Belle, give us a 10. Belle nodded and threw down one last card and put it on the table. The jack of clubs. Oh shit. Now she's got 3. Teresa was holding one of her hands over her mouth as if to stem the flow of escaping giggles, but the attempt was obviously fake as she began to drag the pile of credits to her side of the table. More laughter leaked out from the sides of her lips. Sorry, that's rude of me. I just can't help but look at that frown on your face and laugh. You look so mad. Come on, it's just one hand. You're still up, what, 89 credits? You got a nice even 200 to play with. To my Sixkilla counted her chips and smiled back at Alphonse. 222. Honestly, not that bad. We could still play a few more hands like this. Alphonse was silent, but took a deep breath and began to organise out his chips once more. You got me. You riled me up and made me make some mistakes. I'll admit it, you got me. But you'll only press my buttons like that once. That's cute. You think I was trying to trick you then? Nope, it was really just luck of the draw. I haven't gotten to you, yet. But I'm getting an idea of you now. So let's play some more and you'll see when I really get you. I shivered at Teresa's words as she leaned slightly over the table with eyes of a predator looming over its prey. She passed a glance in my direction. I felt my skin crawl. Let's make this fun for the audience, huh? Blind's 30 credits, remember that. You got it. From there, the game seemed to go much faster. Alphonse and Teresa would constantly flip-flop chip amounts. It was almost rhythmic. Alphonse would win a modest amount one hand and then Teresa would take it back. Teresa would boldly bet tons of credits only to lose them when her hand was garbage. And then Teresa's mood would always shift depending on how well or how badly she was doing. Low on credits, she was depressed and downtrodden. Up on credits, she would happily mock and jeer Alphonse for his bad moves. All the same, Alphonse seemed to be steady and focused with each and every hand. But eventually something strange happened. Alphonse was up on chips again. This time he had 350 credits to Teresa's 72. And the blind had grown to 50 credits. Like usual, Teresa seemed disheartened by her low amount of chips. Hey Alphonse, maybe you should just stop. Stop, huh? I mean, think about it. You got 350 credits right now. You've done more than your fair share of the work, don't you think? Not having fun with me anymore. Oh, I wouldn't be so rude as to say that, but don't you want to give the others a chance to play? Alphonse looked over at the two of us. I waved my hands and shook my head, making it clear I didn't want to play if I didn't have to. Everett merely shrugged. No, we're going to keep playing. Alphonse tossed in 50 credits. Everett should have stopped him right there. He knows. Alphonse tossed in 50 credits and glared at Teresa, who once again called. Now she only had 22 credits to her name. The hands were dealt out and Alphonse hummed to himself. Then he tossed out 22 credits to the pot. She could either call and go all in with whatever cards she had, or she'd fold and basically give Alphonse 100 credits. Teresa grimly looked at her cards again before moving them to the side. I fold. I said I fold, I give up. The hand's garbage, just like my odds of beating you. Oh, that's good, right? That means Alphonse has 400 credits. Good job, Alphonse. No, we're not done here. Huh? Wait, what? Alphonse, you got a huge lead. You got 400 credits. You don't need to press your luck anymore, do you? I agree, Alphonse. Be careful not to get swept up in the thrill of victory. That you forget that you can easily be swept under the undertow of defeat. You should listen to your partners, Alphonse. All it takes is one hand for things to come crumbling down. There was a menacing harshness in Teresa's words, as if she were issuing a grim threat to Alphonse. I don't know what your aim is, but I just got a bad feeling that if I don't take you down, take you for everything you've got now, I'll regret it. You got something planned, and I don't like it. Last chance to back off before you make a choice you'll regret. Now we're gonna play another hand. Match up and throw in your blind. What? Alphonse, you're making a mistake. Maybe. But I might also get us enough credits to win all at once. Put some faith in me. Alphonse gave us a reassuring thumbs up and tossed in 50 credits into the pot. You know what I hate more than anything else in the world? People that look down on me. They think they've figured out a way that they can take me down in one fell swoop. That arrogance always pisses me off. And I love tearing off those idiotic smiles of people who think they're so much better than me. Sounds to me like a personal problem. It's about to be your personal problem. Belle, credits. Despite the harsh tone, Belle happily handed Teresa enough credits to match Alphonse's amount. 400 credits. She slammed 50 credits into the pot and stared down at Alphonse. This felt different. Before there was some sort of mocking playfulness to Teresa's aggression, but now she seemed like an entirely different beast. She seemed genuinely angry, pissed even. If it was just an act, it was very convincing, but if it wasn't, well, maybe it was a good thing that she was angry. People tend to play worse when they're on tilt, weren't they? I guess I'll find out based on how they played. Belle dealt out both cards to both Alphonse and Teresa. Then it was on Teresa to start the bet. 50 credits. Teresa flung the chips on the table and watched Alphonse glare at his cards for a few seconds. Come on, play along already. I know you're going to. You wouldn't pull this bullshit if you weren't. Honestly, Alphonse, you're just wasting time. It doesn't take a gambling genius to know what's a good hand to play on and what's a good one to fold on. Or maybe you just like to extend the time so you can look like a hero or an agent of justice. Is that your thing? Is that what makes you feel like a man? That you go out and try to avenge people who you care about? You just want to bask in the glory of beating the unbeatable? That's why you and Maria are here, ain't it? Just so you can continue on your dumb quest for vengeance. Well, I'm sorry to say that Everett and I will be blocking your path along the way. Teresa. Oh, piss off, Everett. There's no point in playing stupid with them. They're here to kill Nigel. And in the event that they're not, there's no point in fretting about it. You little... Oh yeah, I guess Devon's here too. Should I leave? This sounds like a personal conversation. Doesn't matter unless you're some kind of plant by Connor or Sebastian. Plant? Teresa, will you shut it? Teresa grinded her teeth together, but then turned back to Alphonse. Well, you gonna play or what? That was a long rant. You got everything out of your system? Stop wasting my time. Alphonse chuckled and then matched Teresa's initial bet of 50 credits. What the heck was that all about? Talks of plants and Alphonse wants to kill someone named Nigel? Was that someone important? Whoever it was, apparently it was a big deal to Everett. But considering how angry Everett looked, it might not have been the best time to ask for clarification. Instead, I looked back to the game. With the initial bets done, Bell dealt out the flop, and with that, we're going to wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today, but we're still only doing the first game with Alphonse, so this is going to be a long death game, I think. But at least we got the poker nearly out of the way. So, yeah. I'm assuming that means Everett's going to play next time, and I'm feeling like Alphonse is going to get his ass kicked. At some point, this is going to go badly for him. It seems inevitable. But we'll see. Thanks for watching, Bruce, and I'll see you in the next one.